Welcome to the Just My MomSense podcast. I'm not an expert. I'm just trying to figure out parenting and in turn myself while sharing things I've learned with all of you. Hello and welcome back to the Just My MomSense podcast. After a little summer break, maybe a little longer than the summer break, but most of September was technically the summer, so I think it's still okay. Anyway, I'm excited to be back here to share more with you. If you're new here, I'm Jen, mom of two, figuring things out as we go, sharing the highs and lows and moments in between. Also, if you're new here, feel free to go back and binge the first 9 episodes of this podcast, which I started last May on Mother's Day. So how was your summer? It's one of those things that so many people talk about that just flies by, right? So going into summer, I was feeling the feels like I normally do. Summer break and the holidays are usually that really pivotal time for me where I am feeling like, oh my goodness, time is flying by. These kids are getting too big. It's all going way too fast. I can't believe it's another Christmas. I can't believe it's another summer. I can't believe they're moving up in grades. So definitely had a lot of those feelings at the end of June. And that was even more so this year because they were both switching schools. Our district is a little different with how they lay out what grades are in which schools in the division. So they were both going to new schools this year. And my youngest was going to where my oldest had been for the previous 3 years. And then he was going on to a new school. And that also meant us saying bye to the primary school we had been in since 2019. So that was really hard. We didn't realize just like all the emotions we would feel because of all the changes happening. The kids also had their own emotions, of course. Change is tough for them. The end of the school year is tough for them regardless, but knowing they were saying goodbye to their schools made it even tougher. Luckily, though, we had a really fun summer planned, so that helped a bit, but there's always that transition, at least for us, into and out of summer, where it takes some time to get used to not being in the school routine and getting into a new one. A good reminder for me of needing the routine over the summer as best as I can do it, even if there's a general structure to the day without specific things, because these kids love a good routine and they don't go to camp. So it is up to me to figure out what their days are going to be and how we're going to fill the time and maybe what new things they're going to try along the way. But this summer, we were very lucky because we had booked our own family trip in the beginning of the summer. And then we had some weekend trips in August, and we were ending the summer with a cruise with my entire family. So we knew it was going to be a nice little bookended summer with trips, so it was kind of just filling out all the in-between and the day-to-day. I do feel like July paced pretty well, where I felt like we had a good first week of July, and then we went away for almost a week. We were in Disney. If you don't know, we are a big Disney family. I have shared a couple of tips here and there, but really I should probably do a whole tips and tricks episode on Disney, even though you can find that in so many places on YouTube and podcasts, including the podcast I do with my brother, Dillos Diz. But, you know, when it comes to taking your kids to Disney, I just have, a really specific format of going to the parks early in the day, taking that midday break, and then going back again later on and not pushing them, especially in that summer heat. No one's going to have a good time. So all that to say, we had another amazing trip to Disney. We love it there so much. It's just a really great vacation for all 4 of us. We all love being in the Disney bubble together and We got to see some friends along the way, which was great too. So the rest of July paced pretty well. We had some play dates and library trips and different things we were doing. By August, we took a trip to visit some friends that had moved last year that we missed so much. They moved to Maryland, and so we went down to Maryland for a weekend to visit them. We also went up to the Sterling Renaissance Festival in Oswego one weekend to see my brother, Frank. He has been there for 25 years. And so we went to see him, and we were there with my sister-in-law and niece as well, and got to see some friends there. And then we took a cruise out of New York with my extended family at the end of the summer. We haven't taken a cruise out of New York before. I feel like this may have been our first one. And it was just really nice to not have that extra travel of dealing with airports when you got off the boat. So again, not every summer is this full of travel, but I really loved that we were able to do so much this summer, and I feel thankful for that, and we had a great time on our various trips. Of course, that's not to say that every day is perfect and rainbows and sunshine, and that the kids didn't have lots of ups and downs along the way, and navigating different emotions about it being summer, about their new schools that they would be going to, and really also trying to focus on the idea of let's enjoy the summer, let's enjoy each day as it comes, and just be in the moment. But of course, by the end of the summer, all those big feelings were really starting up as we headed towards the new schools. I do feel that the transition into their schools this September has been better than we anticipated, which is great. They both like their schools. They're both doing well so far. They both like their teachers, so that's really helpful. My oldest is now doing 8 periods of classes. He has a locker, and it's the first time he has this many different teachers. I got to go to curriculum night to kind of see what his day-to-day is and how he switches classes and goes from place to place. So that was really cool and a nice little inside peek at his day. But I am happy that for the most part, they are both doing well. Do they have their moments of not wanting to go to school and not wanting to be where they are and missing their old schools and old teachers? Of course. I try to send messages to their teachers when they want to say hi or anything like that, just to try to keep the connections going. Back to school is kind of like a reset for me as well, because the transition into and out of the summer is also a lot for me, of going from being with the kids all day, every day, and then having a period of time during the day where they're not home, and how I'm going to structure my days and weeks and what that entails. But luckily, all the transitioning goes well, and we all fall back into a routine one way or another. I think knowing how much was going to be happening and knowing the juggle I was going to do, I decided to take a hiatus from this podcast, mostly because I thought maybe most of the people listening are parents and they'll get it. And I want to be able to be consistent when I can. I want to put out the weekly podcasts. I want to talk solo. I want to have guests. And I want to be able to keep that steady as much as I can. And I also want to be able to have the time to do that and organize and edit and put it all out there for you. And now we're back. And now it's fall, which is my favorite season. And I'm really excited for the weather to change. Although as you're listening to this, it is October 1st and it's still feeling pretty summery out. But I'm sure I will miss this once that long winter hits. So I am going to take it all in and appreciate it while I can. But as for what's ahead, I have some great guests lined up, which I'm super happy about. And I'm so thankful that they're the same ones I had lined up as I planned to do it over the summer, and kind of told them, hey, I swear I want to talk to you, but can we just hold off for a bit and I'll follow back up in the fall? So that is what I'm working on doing now and getting them all scheduled. And as always, I would love to hear from you. Feel free to follow me on Instagram and Facebook at Just My MomSense. I do have the blog at justmymomsense.com, but I want to hear from you. what you're thinking of the podcast, if you're liking it, if you want to hear me talk about certain topics. Again, I am not a doctor. I am not a therapist. I am just figuring things out day to day. I am throwing things at the wall some days to see what sticks. I am having highs and lows and working on co-regulation and doing all the things. So if you can relate and you want to have a chat, you want to kind of just communicate in this land of social media, I'd love to talk to you there. Stay tuned for more episodes, more guests as we enter into the fall and the holidays and school continues. I'm sure there'll be plenty of things to talk about, plenty of things for you all to relate to. Thank you for listening. Thanks for coming back. Thanks for waiting it out with me. I'd love to hear what you did all summer, so feel free to share those stories on social media as well, or you can email me at justmymomsense@gmail.com. Don't forget to subscribe and share this podcast. Review it if you'd like. Any way to get the word out there helps. Until next time, remember to take things day by day, and we'll talk again soon. Thank you for listening to the Just My Mom Sense podcast. You can follow me on Instagram and Facebook at Just My Mom Sense, or visit justmymomsense.com for past vlogs and a few of my favorite things. Music produced by Matt Harvey.